The metro is the beating heart of the city of Paris. Initial construction started in 1898 and Line 1 was completed on the 19th of July 1900. Today the Paris Metro is 136 miles long, has 305 stations and carries 4.5 million passengers every day. Iconic in its design, each metro stop bears a person's name, an event or a landmark that helped shape the France and her culture that we know today. In this podcast, we will take the metro to the Franco-Prussian War, the Revolution, past the French resistance of the 40s, through the victories of Napoleon, and stopping by great intellects, innovators and artists to discover how France and Paris were made and the people that made her. So let's go on a trip through French history, one station at a time. Welcome to Metro Stop Podcast. The police report was issued that very day. This morning at 8:05 a.m. on August 21st, 1941, at Barbès-Rochechouart Station, Line 4, on the platform for the Port d'Orléans direction, a German naval officer, Mr. Alphonse Moser, was shot twice as he was getting into the first-class carriage. An individual standing at the door of the carriage fired 2 shots from a gun through his pocket at the officer approaching the other door. The perpetrator and another individual quickly got off the train, ran to the exit, jumped over the barriers and fled the scene. Welcome to Metro Stop. I'm Kelly Blair. Colonel Fabien is a station on the north-east of Line 2, on the border between the 10th and 19th arrondissement, between Port Dauphine and Nation. The station was opened on the 31st of January 1903 as part of the extension of Line 2 from Anvers to Alexandre Dumas. It was originally named after Combat, after Place du Combat. On the 19th of August 1945, both the square and the station were renamed after Colonel Pierre-Georges Fabien, who shot dead a German soldier at Barbès-Rochechouart metro station, marking the beginning of the armed French resistance in Paris. Pierre-Georges was born on January 21st, 1919 in Paris, in the 19th arrondissement. He was the third born in a family of 4 children. His mother, Blanche, died of tuberculosis in 1928. His father, Félix Georges, a baker, was active in the CGTU, the Trade Union Confederation, and he joined the Communist Party in 1930. Felix was arrested on the 8th of June 1942, designated as a hostage because of his son's activities. He was shot at Montvallier, with dozens of others. It seems that communism was a family affair. Pierre was heavily influenced by his sister Denise and his 2 brothers, Daniel and Jacques, to get involved in the communist youth or national leadership of communist children. As a teenager, he worked various jobs without learning any trade. Alternately, assistant fitter, apprentice pastry chef or cook, a shopping boy, a baker, a clerk, a rivet installer. His professional instability was due to his petulant nature, which led him to fight with many of his employers. The militancy did the rest. He was caught drawing slogans on the eve of May 1st, 1935. He was given a fine. This would by no means be his only interaction with the law. In March 1936, he was admitted into the Communist Party. Despite the neutrality agreement signed by European countries, he left for Spain in October 1936 to fight for the Republican Army. He had falsified his age on his documents. He was employed as a bodyguard and he didn't want to be called out for being so young, so he stayed away from the front. He was transferred to Madrid and he made his way through the ranks to become a master sergeant in 1938. On the 19th of March, he was wounded in the thigh, arm and more seriously in the stomach during the Aragon offensive. He returned to France in August 1938. He joined the Secretariat of Paris-Ville region of the Communist Youth and acquired a certificate of aviation fitter in early 1939. In April, he was elected to the National Council of the Young Communists and married Parisian activist Andrea Cordier on July 8, 1939. From September 1939, the life of the couple was affected by the consequences of the ban of the French Communist Party. which is the PCF. Arrested, along with his wife on the 3rd of December, for making and distributing communist leaflets, Pierre Georges was dismissed but found himself interned. During the German invasion in June 1940, he escaped with a transfer to Bordeaux, while his wife, who was released in February or March, went to Paris, where she gave birth to their daughter, Monique. She was born on the 10th of August. Now in the south and under the clandestine name of Fredo, Pierre stayed in Brive, Toulouse and Marseille. He took charge of the youth for the southeast in autumn 1940. And then in the spring of 1941, he returned to Paris to meet his daughter for the very first time and strengthen the national leadership of the young communists. Pierre was now weapons trained, and his leadership skills were evident. And having seen firsthand military failures or the hesitancy to fight against the rising fascist occupation and threat, he now played a crucial role in organising and leading resistance activities. He set to organising the French Communist Party. He prepared and executed the attack on August 21st, 1941 against the German naval officer Moser at the Barbès-Rochechouart metro station. The killing of Moser was in revenge for the execution of Samuel Tieselman, a 20-year-old Jewish-Polish communist, for taking part in an anti-German demonstration. Moser's killing was the start of a series of assassinations and reprisals that resulted in 500 French hostages being executed in the next few months. And from there the operations followed one another. Attacks on soldiers, destruction by fire or explosives of German equipment and premises, sabotage of communications and supply chains. While most of his comrades fell under the blows of the police and under the bullets of the occupier, Pierre narrowly escaped arrest on the 6th of March 1942. He left to go to eastern France. He formed, under another pseudonym of Captain Henri, the first FTP, which is the Franc Tireurs et Partisans Français. This was the Armed Resistance Force. He successfully recruited communist workers, Soviet prisoners of war, Catholic peasants, merchants and patriotic officials for an ever more daring armed struggle. He was denounced, or grassed in, and he was seriously wounded in the head by a bullet on the 25th of October 1942, but he managed to slip through the net thrown by the gendarme, but not for long. Back in Paris, he was arrested on the 30th of November at Republic Station, and a few days later his wife was also arrested. She was sent to Germany, and she did not return until April 1945. She did not see her husband alive again. Pierre Georges passed to the Gestapo. He was brutally tortured and he tried to commit suicide twice, but he gave nothing that his torturers didn't already know. Imprisoned in Fresnes, he remained there for 3 months, incommunicado, before being transferred to Dijon, where the SS again questioned him about the locations of the weapons depot in the eastern France. Incredibly, he escaped, and by 1943 he led a small army of 1,200 armed resistance fighters under the nom de guerre Colonel Fabien. In 1944 he reorganised and increased his FTP again, and he was recalled back to Paris. There, him and his comrades fought for the liberation. On the 27th of December 1944, his command post near Mulhouse in Alsace blew up, killing Fabien. The exact conditions of this accident have not been fully clarified, but most widely accepted version is that of the explosion of a mine examined by Fabien and his 5 companions. The unclear nature of his death has been subject to some conspiracy. On the 3rd of January 1945, thousands of people attended his funeral in Paris. Pierre Georges, an unusual colonel of working class origin, was killed at the age of 25 by a death that he had evaded for nearly a decade. Pierre Georges' story is like a movie to me. His actions and leadership became a game changer in the French resistance, making it a more formidable force against the German occupation. His legacy continues to be remembered as a symbol of courage and resistance. It's 1940 and you're watching the Nazi forces parade down the Champs-Élysées. You feel betrayed by your party and by the leaders who have been bowing to and appeasing the fascists since 1936. And now your city has fallen. Your courage is in your pen, more powerful than any men's guns, spreading your ideals of hope and unity and freedom and truth. and you are killed for it. That's next time on Metro Stop. My main sources for this season are the RATP and the website lemetron.fr. Other sources are listed on show notes. Music by Martin Shelkins, and you can contact me at metrostoppodcast@gmail.com.